See, now we're live.
What's up, buddy?
It's like magic. What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? You look slightly redder than usual. Nice hue.
Very tan from Mexico, but I also jacked up my feet really bad in the ocean. Jen was taking a nap on a lounger. Jackson says, "Daddy, I want to go out into the ocean." I said, "Okay, all right, we'll go out into the ocean." Grab him, put on his life jacket, go out there. Waves were rougher than I thought they were going to be. Tossed us around a bit. Came out of the water. My feet were just gushing blood. Blood.
Is it rocky?
Not kind of, but like not enough to. I think I was holding Jackson up. He's almost 6, but like, and he's really good in the water. But like, I wanted to be careful, right? Rip my feet up. So they're healing. And this was on like Tuesday of the trip. Wednesday, the fire alarm starts going off. We're on the 17th floor.
Oh no.
So we don't think anything of it, right? It's in the hallway. I peek my head out and there's all of this smoke in the hallway. So obviously we panic. We run down 17 sets of stairs. I'm not wearing shoes because I can't put them on tops of my feet are so jacked up.
Damn.
And turns out they were just fumigating the elevators.
Okay. Well, bummer for you.
Bummer
Sorry about your feet. I did see pictures. It's pretty gnarly.
It's gotten worse. I wore shoes too long, and then I had to rip gauze out of my foot like an idiot when I could have just soaked it.
Oh no.
I
bet it had that kind of goo on it that's not quite blood. It's just pus. You know, it's just that.
It's not pus. It's not pus, but yeah.
But it's pussy.
Dude,
But it's pussy.
Yeah.
Right?
It looks like it. Man, this just got really weird. So I just want to shout out Brad Bolt in the chat saying, "Hey, fellas." Brad, thanks for tuning in, man. All the way down in Australia in Adelaide. We've got Royal up in Calgary saying, "Brad, yes, he is the man." We've got Albert out there saying, "Hello, everyone." Albert, we appreciate you tuning in as always. Royal, it is great to see you. And yes, Royal, I think you saw my feet. It's not good. And that was a horrible conversation. Matt, horrible.
Yeah. I don't like talking about that gnarly pussy feet situation you got going on.
I don't like it. They're all bandaged up now, though.
Okay. Well, stay off your feet, buddy. You need I think it's always necessary to get kind of a vacation when you get back from a vacation. You know, you really need time to reset. You can't just hop back into things. Now you have a medical excuse. So
we got food poisoning. We got home Friday, like 6:30, something like that. Jen's parents made us 7-layer dip. Brought us some chips. It was awesome. Get up the next morning, like, we want these breakfast burritos called the Big Fuzz. It's these crispy, like, potato cubes, pickled jalapenos, cheese, bacon, but then a fried egg. And we get a fried runny egg. So there's all this yolk in it. It's so good. Made us both sick. So we had food poisoning through the end of Sunday.
That was down in Mexico?
No, that was at home. The day after we got home from Mexico.
I was wondering. So you came back from Mexico and you were like, "I need burritos. Bring a 7-layer dip." Just keep the party going.
Dude, look, Mexican food here is completely different than it is down there. Down there, it's like actually like really, dude, I came home and I had lost 2 pounds. But we cooked at our condo. I think we got room service once. And we had food down by the pool once. The burgers were fantastic. But then we just cooked chicken. We bought eggs. I made fried eggs every morning.
Sounds incredibly healthy. Sounds like a beautiful way to live.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty awesome. The vegetables are just so much fresher down there, too. And the chicken is fresher, too, which sounds weird, but it's less. It basically comes off the farm. They package it, and then they put it in the store. Even at Walmart. Cool. Yeah. Well, enough about Mexico, because the end of the Mexico trip means that it's almost time for the Fantasy Football Expo, which I am so freaking excited about. Forgot to book our room for Thursday night because we're getting in a day early. completely forgot to book it because we'd already booked the other days. I panicked today. I was like, crap, they're going to be out of rooms.
So where are you staying?
Doubletree.
Oh, great. Okay.
Are you staying at the Doubletree too?
I got an Airbnb with a bunch of people, and we're just gonna kind of couch it, see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Crew. Shout out Happy Hour.
You're with Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming this year?
I think so.
That is awesome. That excites me. Tyler, I can't wait to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I'm excited. All right. Okay. So enough about all. We've got.
Do you want to talk about football at some point?
I do. Dude, we're like 8 days away from the first game action we've seen since the Super Bowl.
And I think we're like 40, like low 40s, 43 days away from our lineups being locked
43
off. Yeah. Can you imagine?
I know, man.
That's like a month and short change.
Well, what's cool is
lineups on a Sunday morning.
I know, right? So Jen powered through labor with Jackson while the season opener in 2017 was on. It was a Thursday night. It was Patriots Chiefs. It was the emergence of Kareem Hunt when he just went off. And it was like, who the hell is this kid? It was a great game. Kansas City, I think, won. Jackson held off being born until the game was over. So we watched the whole game.
Atta dude.
Right? So this year, opening night is on his birthday again.
Cool.
Yeah. And now he's old enough to actually like stay up for most of the game.
Does that make him 8? Is that how leap years work?
6.
Okay. Yeah, 1 off of 7.
6.
Sure.
Yep. All right. Well,
what do you have? What do you have for me today?
What do I have? Oh, I have news that we have to talk about. Things that just happened in the league today. And this is probably something that we're going to continue to do for who knows how long. Could be 2 weeks, could be 2 years. This sounds like one that's going to stick, though.
One what?
I'll probably make a drop for it eventually.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there is sometimes news we have to talk about, right?
Yeah, and we can always just hop on and be like, hey, Nate, you got 10 minutes? We got to talk about this real quick. And it can be...
Sure. Well, of course. But for the purpose of today, here's the news we have to talk about. And we're going to start with Saquon Barkley signs a last-minute 1-year, $11 million deal with the Giants. I mean, to me, this was kind of expected. Was it not?
Yeah. I do think that all the I expect it with Dalvin Cook as well. I think that, if you're going to take returning to their team versus the field, it's kind of a 50-50 bet for all of these free agents. Zeke coming back after, I feel like they're kind of giving veteran deference, giving them time to maybe rest up and skip camp and then come back because they've got everything under control, Sure. I think that they've all got homes, and I think that Saquon being there made sense. I think it was weird how quickly that happened after. Did you hear that all the running backs with leverage in the league, we'll say, the veteran running backs with leverage?
And it was set up by Austin Eckler, hometown boy from Colorado. Go Austin.
Yeah, buddy. And everybody's favorite, every fantasy player's favorite, And,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, of course, because he's just in it. So Union
Those
King,
country boys, man.
Yep. Union King Austin Eckler got everybody on the horn, got Derrick Henry on there, and they all kind of talked about. I don't know what they talked about, but I can imagine. About RBs getting paid. Saquon Barkley's getting $11 million for 1 year, and also today Cole Kmet got $50 million
for 4
years. But that's running backs definitely have a right to be upset when Saquon Barkley is getting less than Cole Kmet. No offense to Cole Kmet, but that's our punching bag, buddy?
Well, no. Look, no offense. I love Cole Kmet. The guy, he's talented. He was second on the team in targets last season. However, he is not worth more money than Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, it's insane. Period. That's pretty bonkers.
This shows if people are wondering why running backs are upset, this is why.
This makes sense. Yeah. And how long do tight ends play in the league? They play well into their 30s if they can keep up as with their lineman skills.
Right. Well, okay. So here's
running backs have, every year past their original rookie contract is kind of borrowed time, right?
Right. So Jen and I were talking about this the other day. We dropped Jackson off at the YMCA and we're driving home, and it just really, I told her about the meeting. She's like, "Oh no, that makes sense. Like this is crap." Because here's the way I look at it. Okay. They're locked into these rookie contracts in their prime. And these running backs aren't getting drafted until the second and third round now, with the way the league has shifted.
Sure.
So those aren't big contracts.
Even further
and then you're
back, even further back, we're everybody had giant hopes for Zach Evans and all these different guys that ended up going like the 5th and 6th round. It's supposed to be a really deep running back class, but at the end of the day, it's like all the NFL GMs were playing chicken and kind of catching on. Like, oh, we can just put our 6th round Isaiah Pacheco's in there if the rest of our team is humming. If our line is very cohesive,
right?
Then Jaylen Warren can carry the torch.
Sure. Well, if you think back to some of those early 2000s Broncos teams where their lines were so good that anybody you put behind them ran for 1,000 yards. Guys you've never
me and you.
Yeah. You had guys like Olandis Gary, Mike Bell, Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson was like a 27-year-old rookie.
Look, if we are allowed to just make up names on here, I'm going to be the biggest expert in the entire fantasy industry.
Tatum Bell, that was another one. We had the two Bells, I remember.
Going. Yep.
I don't know, man. There's a problem here. Because you're saying like the Le'Veon Bell case, and this, I'll go back to this, and I will say I understand why he held out. Here, touch the ball. We want you to touch the ball 600 times this season. 600.
Wait, what? Did he hit that mark?
Yes, he did hit the 600.
Wow.
Mark. And he had like 300, 400 something carries. Maybe it's 400, whatever it was. Even if it's 400, it's an outlandish number of touches. Okay.
Sure.
Stupid. I'm selling my body out. There's a shelf life to this. And that shelf life basically is when my rookie contract expires and I've made $6 million. And the medical bills alone that I'm going to incur above what the NFL pays, because let's be honest, the pension and the medical plan for veterans sucks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This is an NFLPA problem. They've got to negotiate a better deal on rookie contracts for running backs.
I've got some ideas, but what would you, since the show's off the rails, and I might have to miss next week too because I'm traveling to Canton on Wednesday, so I'm going to be in the car with Omega Keith. Shout out.
That's next week.
Wait, maybe it's 2 weeks from now.
No, it's – oh, my God. Anyway, it's 2 weeks from now.
It's 2 weeks from now.
It's 2 weeks.
Great. Dude, I don't know. I got time blindness.
Yes, okay.
What was I even getting into? I'm sorry. Oh, what would be your suggestions since we're off the rails? What do you – I got a couple ideas.
I think rookies get a 2-year with a minimum.
Love the shortened contract.
With a 3rd-year negotiable option.
Okay.
At market value. It starts at market value. Average.
Yeah, that's my first idea was going to be 3 years with a 4th year if they're first rounders with a 4th year.
Give them 2 because by year 2 better. These guys by year 2, and even with Saquon's injury,
all the teams still would have gotten him for one. All the franchises are trying to pay him 1 year at a time anyway after the rookie contract. So you might as well. I like.
Well,
it.
And the thing with Saquon is so you look at his injury in year 2. So he balls out year 1, gets hurt in year 2, comes back in year 3, and he's so, but plays well enough to where it's like, this dude's going to go. He would have gotten paid already.
Yeah. Well,
then you solve the problem. These guys aren't mad.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. We should take over the union.
So I got another one that I'd like to add on is that their contracts can be their contracts, but let's say that they have incentive based where they can match their entire contract and it doesn't count out against the cap, like just a separate running back fund that doesn't count against the cap, and it can just be incentive based, usage based, something like that.
So a running back that didn't
for the wear and tear.
Yeah, no, 100%. A running back who isn't going to settle for the shenanigans of their team is Josh Jacobs in the news. He was spotted at the Las Vegas airport leaving town, and when asked when he'd be back, he said, "Not anytime soon." So if you're okay, I mean, the Raiders are an idiotic franchise. Like, let's start there. But if you're the Raiders, you kind of need Josh Jacobs this season, right? Or are you confident in going with Zamir White? Or do you trade him?
That question makes me want to burn a hole in the screen.
I know.
Or are you confident in Zamir White? I don't know what they're doing either. You know, they're the team that last year.
I'm not saying I'm confident.
No, it's just
to be
last
clear.
year, you remember they had Justin Herbert leading the Chargers. They had Mahomes leading the Chiefs. They had what was the third? And then Russell Wilson was supposed to be the new hotness leading the Broncos. And then the Raiders went and got a New England coach who we'll see. But then they went and paid for Devontae Adams. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking. They should have started the rebuild a year ago. But I guess they're just clinging on with the Jimmy G experiment and getting rid of Waller. I don't know what they're doing. You just don't ask me to make sense of it. It doesn't. It's upside down to me. I don't know which direction they're going.
Josh McDaniels, if you'll remember, one of his first actions as the Broncos head coach and GM, who that will bother me till the day I die. Who thought Josh McDaniels could be a GM? But one of the first things he did was trade Jay Cutler for Kyle Orton. And look, I'm not the biggest Jay Cutler fan at all. The guy was a dipshit. He got in trouble here all the time. Average quarterback with a really great arm. But you don't trade him for Kyle Orton and then draft Tim Tebow in the first round of the NFL draft.
Yeah, y'all have been playing for a little while.
This is Josh McDaniels' track record.
Sure. It's, how many other coaches have tried to go the Patriot way after leaving there and just kind of sputters around. So we don't know. I'm sure he still has his New England tag-alongs and Brandon Bolden and
sure,
whoever that other guy is, Amir Abdullah. So I don't know what that. Oh, and now not Juju. Who'd they swap out? Jacoby's there too. So I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not too interested.
I'm not either, which makes my heart so happy as a Broncos fan. So
good.
So now the last one we want to talk about
as a Broncos fan, it's the little things, right?
It's the little things. So the last one I want to talk about here, Justin Herbert signed a massive extension. It's 5 years, $265 million. It ties Herbert to the Chargers through 2029. But here's the big thing, dude. $219 million of this contract is guaranteed. That's huge.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Can y'all hear the thunder?
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here. There's lightning going on all around me. It's
dope.
Talking about football and watching a thunderstorm. This is awesome. All right. So you know what? I think we're going to move on because that was the stuff we had to talk about. Now, here's the stuff that we want to talk about.
Lovely.
And I've got a fun topic to start it out. We're going to talk about something we're both doing for the first time. RAZZBOWL.
Oh, please. So I signed up today. I'm really excited about it. What's the format?
Best ball. Well, actually, it's better ball.
Okay.
Which is best ball, but you get a weekly fab budget. So you can pick up players on waivers. You still don't have to start sit, which is really cool. Yeah, right?
Yeah, it seems.
This one it's a $10 fab. I'm not going to get super into the league rules because I haven't had a lot of time to study them yet. Again, this is my first year doing it, but I'm really excited and it's free. And you get a chance to win a Razzball engraved trophy and a Razzball DFS premium subscription with the value of $99.99. And on top of myself and Matt and my wonderful wife, Jen, some of the other people that you might have a chance to play with if you join, Rudy Gamble, our own Donkey Teeth, Beat-On, Everywhere Blair. Then we've got RotoWire's Scott Jenstad and Jeff Erickson. We've got Andy Behrens from Yahoo is playing here, Scott Pianowski. We've got a bunch of people from Fantrax, 4for4 Football, QB List. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, guys, check in the show notes here. We're going to have the link to sign up for RAZZBOWL. Hop in. You might get to beat one of us. You never know.
Unlikely, but we're selling the dream here, and it's free.
I know, and it's free, and you can win some cool stuff. There are prizes for up to 3rd place. So, guys, make sure you sign up for that. And now, Matt, something I have been wanting to talk about for days with you. The Detroit Lions. I am so hyped about this team. So hyped about this team. And I've been hyped, and we've talked about it.
Yep, you should.
But there were some comments the other day, and I want to bring up a couple of them. These are coming out of camp. First one is from Jared Goff. I'll read the full quote. That's my favorite part of this quote. It's funny to me that you go 9-8, you don't make the playoffs, and now you're all of a sudden a favorite. And yeah, of course, we've got good players. We've got good coaches. We've got a good team, but we ain't done nothing yet. We have a lot of work to do. That's beautiful.
Oh, yep.
Right? And we recently talked about our love for Jared Goff on this show a couple weeks ago. He was the featured player on our QB tiers. I just love this comment so much.
You know,
it shows a mature quarterback.
Sure. Humility.
And that's the dude I want leading my team.
I'm surprised that he threw an ain't in there. I didn't know Jared Goff was like that, but I appreciate it.
Me too. Look, the more and more I see Jared Goff, I hear him talk, I watch him play, the more I really start to like him. He's grown up, he's matured, and he's got a really good team around him. Really good team around him. Okay, we'll go through a couple more quotes real quick. Really good team around. Yes, exactly. Great coach. Okay, so the next comment we've got is from Aiden Hutchinson. He says, it can get to your head a little bit, but I think we're doing a good job of keeping our mentality and keeping what we've been doing and building off of it. We haven't won anything yet, so obviously there's a lot of expectations, but we still feel like underdogs. This is a team that could easily be full of themselves.
Yeah.
With the way they finished last season.
They're hungry, man. They still want to eat those kneecaps. They're not full. They're not sated.
Exactly.
They're not sitting back. They're hungry.
No, they're hungry. So that brings me to our last quotes from Dan Campbell himself. I think, as always, the thing that's going to worry you is the hype train. I mean, this thing has just taken off and it's outside of control right now, and that's fine as long as we stay focused on the job at hand and the work. I just keep going back to that. We've got to put the work in and earn it.
You know, his whole team kind of reflects that. You got the wild card, Jameson Williams, who is going to be suspended for the first 6 games for gambling. But, you know, Amon-Ra, for years we've heard stories about him still keeping that list of wide receivers that were drafted ahead of him, like on his mirror, and he wakes up every morning and looks at the list and he stays angry and he works that hard because of it.
Right.
You know, you can see it. Like he fits in with the culture completely. It's fun to get excited about this, man. It's, you know,
yeah, no, totally it is. So we've got a comment in the chat. I've got to pop up here. We've got Linda. Hi, Linda. Thanks for watching. What up? See you in like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Goff doesn't know which direction the sun rises. Of course, he says 8.
Hey, now. Hey, we can read down there as long as it's like audible in my headphones. You know what I mean?
I can audio read just fine.
Ooh, I read so good.
We've got Mr. Scamper saying, I too ain't think Goff say that. I just want to point out, did you see any of the pictures of him at the live draft? Scott Fishbowl live draft.
Wait, who?
Mr. Scampers.
Oh, Mr. Scampers. Oh, I think you're talking about Jared Goff. Yeah, Mr. Scampers with the long flowing.
Dude, that beard.
Beautiful. I
just want to hug it. Just hug the beard.
Yep. He's got the color run, you know?
He does. So, okay. Here's what I'll say about the Lions. And because I know there's a lot of people that are like, don't buy this. Jared Goff's Jared Goff. It is what it is. Like, don't get too excited.
Wasn't he the first overall pick?
I believe so, yes. Dude, that was so long ago. Yeah.
I know.
It actually wasn't that long ago. But
well,
I digress.
It also says something, if you could find a 29-year-old Kirk Cousins, how nice would it be to have that on your Superflex team for 6 years?
Sure.
So, there is that Jared Goff allure.
I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. He
Okay,
had those 2 seasons where he was like damn near 5,000 yards. His efficiency was there.
If you think you lucked out with Geno, you should go and spend some money or spend some assets to acquire Jared Goff. Because we're looking at if he can. I mean, think about it. He's just got to keep his team away from drafting somebody. He can do that.
He was QB 10 last year.
Right. So if they do make it to the playoffs, they can't draft. How are they gonna? They're gonna have to go sign somebody else. And you think about the culture in there; it's all ingrained and work hard. And he's the Brian Drew from Moneyball. Or no, Draft Day, right?
I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions don't strike me as a franchise that would cut and bail. I think Dan Campbell's the kind of guy who believes in his quarterback. So if the season doesn't go exactly how they planned, but Goff plays well enough, they're gonna be like, okay, we can build on this. Let's figure out what we need to do in the draft. Where are we failing? But here's the thing. I don't think that's going to happen. Look at the weapons they've given him. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Was he wide receiver 10? PPR? I think he was higher than that.
They drafted him, I think, in the 4th round. I think he was a day 3 wide receiver, which is statistically. Yeah. Where was he?
Yeah, he was.
So statistically, he should be pretty much out of the door. It's like him and Diggs over the last 10 years, something silly like that.
Yeah,
right. As far as career long wide receiver ones, it's an anomaly. So, but I don't know if you know his backstory. He comes from his father's John Brown, Mr. Olympian, and they taught their kids 5 or 6 or 7 languages or something like that, and they've always had that work ethic where it doesn't. The 4th round draft capital is just more of a fire. It's more of a impetus into him being basically taking what we're talking about as the Lions culture, and just everybody's working so hard that you can't really take the Jared Goff out of the situation, because that he's trying too. Oh, and speaking of, think back on it 2 years ago when we were everybody loves Man Campbell. Everybody loves this interim coach. We love him, but he's an interim coach. But who are they going to get?
Right.
They might get Sean Payton. They blah 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 blah. So now we're just doing the same thing with Jared Goff, and now we're just if Jared Goff is going to fit anywhere, it's where we were saying the same things about that. We might be saying the same things about him moving on now as we were saying about his coach, who's created the culture on there 2 years ago, right? So it's just a retold narrative in the same city, same place, same team, same staff, same game plan.
100%. I'm excited.
Have you seen this? Dynasty. Go pay it first.
Have you seen the Sam Laporta talk?
How could I not, man? I really want you to stop. I just gotta go buy more, and now I can't even. I tried sending. Well, I don't know if I actually tried sending 2 seconds to pick them up from somebody who got them at 206. That should just be an automatic smash no matter who you get there, right?
Oh, 100%.
Now I can't get that.
As much as I want to keep it secret,
nonsense,
I can't in good conscience. I can't. Dude, this kid's going to be so good out of the gate. He is primed, and we've talked about it for so many reasons. And then just think about when they get JMO back. And they've got Jahmyr Gibbs. They've got David. That offense could be. This offense could be a complete bust. It could also be really, really good.
Talking about a culture fit, Jameson worries me for a lot of reasons. This is just too many things, too many years in a row. But they got rid of Swift because I think it was more of an interpersonal thing. He never was quite the culture fit with them up there, and they kind of shunned him because of it. And if you look back on his performance last year, it was fantastic when he was given the chance.
Sure.
So he's still got a lot going for him in Philadelphia, but he just didn't fit the culture, so they got rid of him. And Amon-Ra fits the culture. And if I think Gibbs can fit the culture, I was a little worried because he supposedly didn't give 100% or anything near that pass blocking in college, and that was the big worry about and he's not going to make it in Man Campbell's offense, is he? But if he fits the culture, Goff fits the culture, Amon-Ra fits the culture, and Sam Laporta
fits.
It's just so much fun. It's so much fun to root for him.
I know
in that city, and with the opportunity that he might have right off the bat. And go back and look at some of his college highlights. He's acrobatic for being such a goofy dude.
And he played really well in a really bad Iowa offense. Iowa's offense was terrible, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so we've got a question in the chat here from Jamie. Jamie, thank you for the question. Thank you as always for tuning in and supporting us as hard as you do. Make sure you get into RAZZBOWL. Jamie, get into RAZZBOWL. Would you be comfortable in a dynasty league with St. Brown, Gibbs, Montgomery on the same team? My answer is yes, 100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love the buddy system, though. The buddy system doesn't scare me, especially in a dynasty league, because you've got like 30 bench spots. And when you have 30 bench spots, it's more okay to get your own handcuffs because you have bench space to do it, But I love the buddy system, especially, and then if you're starting 11 in a lot of leagues and a lot of super flex leagues, with 3 wide receivers and 3 flexes, start everybody. It's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
They're all great. They're all going to do well. I wouldn't be scared of it at all.
Okay. So we're going to close out with a rapid fire here. Okay. So according to Kevin Patra of NFL Network, at Kevin Patra on Twitter, these are the top 10 quarterback battles in camp. I am going to ask you, I'm going to give you the battle. No explanation. I just want you to tell me who you think is going to win the camp battle.
Let's do it.
We've got the 49ers between Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold.
Trey Lance. Next.
Brock Purdy.
I know.
All right, number 2. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, or Kyle Trask?
It's got to be Baker. They're going to give him one last shot.
It has to be Baker. Number 3, Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson?
I saw something today, and it might have just been some conspiracy theorist speculation, but if Gardner Minshew played 10 games, that wouldn't be crazy at all.
I think he should.
I think he should too. Anthony Richardson's so raw. We don't want Anthony Richardson to go the Trey Lance route. And actually, they spent about the same capital on him.
He's not going to go the Trey Lance route. Dude's way too talented. The question is,
he's also
do you scar him in those? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you scar him in those first 10 games to where he can't get a grip on the passing game? So he's just running for his life.
Right.
You don't want to do that to him.
No, you don't.
Some guys can get over that.
You don't want what they did to Fields year 1.
Exactly.
Okay, rapid fire.
Okay, so we've got Washington Commanders at number 4, Sam Howell versus Jacoby Brissett. I'm going to go crazy here. I'm saying it's Brissett.
I'll go Howell. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So now we've got the New York Giants at wide receiver. Isaiah Hodgins versus Darius Slayton versus Paris Campbell versus Sterling Shepard versus Wan'Dale Robinson versus Jalen Hyatt versus Jamison Crowder versus Cole Beasley.
Gross. That's disgusting. Sterling Shepard. Oh, and by the way, side note, I know we're not supposed to do this. Side note, Sterling Shepard's on PUP right now, which I feel like they're giving veteran deference again and letting people rest when they need to. I don't know that he's completely injured. This is the time when everybody's starting to go on PUP and starting to go on IR and starting to get all these designations. Right. Go fill up your IRs right now, and you might be able to put maybe 2 or 3 players per league in some places into your IR, and then go ravage the waiver wire. You should be stashing people in your IR, but it's really exciting that now that designations are happening,
you can start to move your stuff
in
around.
43 days, like everything's happening. So go get a jump on your league mates, fill up your IR. Stashing players in your IR is not cheating. We went through this 2 years ago.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
All right. Paris Campbell for me, by the way. Thanks for asking.
Go for it.
All right. So now we've got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 6. This is a receiver battle as well. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, Richie James, Justin Watson, Justin Ross. My answer is none.
Wow. Is there another one? Or are you just going to take the field as in there's somebody coming?
I will draft literally anyone besides any. I have some Kadarius Toney, but this knee injury stuff, like, dude, it's freaking me out too much. It's happening to him too often.
So we missed him on the news earlier. Kadarius Toney had a tweak in camp today, and he had immediate surgery. And it just sounds like he's had the same cleanup surgery on the same day, like 2 or 3 times. I love the guy too. I got more than my.
I know he's talented.
Probably like 4x what I should.
I just can't. I like him as a football player. I'm rooting for him. I want him to succeed. I can't. No shares.
But he's the only one of all those guys that I would want to roster because he's the only one that separates with upside.
Maybe Rashee Rice, maybe. But
maybe a Sky Moore. I think I've got one out of 20 leagues. That's about. I'm happy with that. It's fine.
Yep. Okay, so number 7, Philadelphia Eagles. DeAndre Swift versus Kenny Gainwell versus Rashad Penny versus Boston Scott versus Trey Sermon. Okay, pick 2.
Oh, the 2 best ones, Swift and Rashad Penny. I'm so glad you gave me 2. Yeah, I thought we were going to fight over which one's going to be. What's that?
Who's your one?
Oh, Swift. I'm still a Swiftie.
Mine's Penny.
That's fine.
If Penny stays healthy, that's always the catch with Rashad Penny. Can he play a full season?
Of course.
His running style just gets him hurt.
I wonder if he's got. Do you have offhand how many games he's played in how many years? Something like 16 games in 4 years.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It's not great. But
when he's been on the field, dude, at the end of 2021, he was a league winner.
Yep, I remember that. He had a nice little stretch.
I've made a lot of really bad calls, like tons. I probably made 5 bad calls on this show already today. That was not one of them. I called Rashad Penny breaking out like 3 weeks before it happened, and I'm going to make myself a plaque.
Good.
Probably. Good. Okay, so now we've got the Miami Dolphins. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Devin Achane, Salvin Ahmed, Myles Gaskin. Dude, for me, there's no winner here. It's going to be such split volume. Because, again, the new regimes in the NFL, they're all Kyle Shanahan offenses. Mike McDaniel is no different. The problem is with these guys, you never know which week it's going to be them.
Right.
Until injuries start happening.
It's a roulette wheel. And it's the same roulette wheel that there was in San Francisco with a lot of the same faces, the same coach, 2 of the same running backs, and they don't have a Christian McCaffrey that you can really feel comfortable is going to be the guy.
Right.
So you're going to be picking between some guy you don't know and this new guy, Jeff Wilson, which is like, y'all playing with us now, aren't you? And then Jeff Wilson's the league winner a couple years ago. So I don't want to count on that at all.
No, there's 2 I can tell you for sure will not be involved. Salvin Ahmed and Myles Gaskin.
Great. We can start with that.
That's all I know.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to move on to number 9 here. We've got the Minnesota Vikings. This is on the defensive side, but we'll go for it anyway because I have an answer. Byron Murphy versus Andrew Booth, Caleb Evans, Mekhi Blackman, Juwan Williams, or Jay Ward.
What position are you talking about? Is that offensive coordinator?
Cornerback.
Oh, I don't know. I don't play IDP. I'm sorry. You take this. What do you think?
That's fine. It's Mekhi Becton.
Oh, yep. I know that name. That sounds. I'm all in.
Yeah, and not Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Blackman. Sorry, it was just the next one is the New York Jets offensive line, which we're not going to get into. Even though I did offensive line rankings last year for Fantasy Pros, and it was a pain.
Do you think? Would it be fair to expect about the same year-long arc from Madison as we saw from Dameon Pierce last year, where there was just a lot of haters going into the beginning of the year? And I was one of them. And he just did his thing and got 10 to 14 points every week. And we all got put in our place because they got a very comfortable RB2.
Look, I'm not a Madison lover. I'm not a Madison hater. I'm a Madison whatever.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yep.
That's about it.
I'm with you.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening to the audio version, make sure that you follow us on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to the show and like our episodes. Please, please, please. We love it. We love you watching. We love you tuning in. We love feedback. diehardsmailbag@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you think of the show. If you've got questions for us, we're happy to answer them on air. RAZZBOWL is still going on. Make sure you check out that link in the show notes here, whether it's on the audio version or the YouTube version. Matt, any wise parting words for us before we get off the air?
Hydrate. It's hot out there.
Yes.
That's all.
It's very hot out there.
Water.